There's a Spiritfarer update. Interesting. I wonder if there'll be any more achievements. But if there's new game content, then that's good. Hello everyone. I am here. I am just sorting myself out. Today we are doing story time. We are playing Bai Qu. I keep on saying it as Bai Qu and then getting confused where I can't find it. But it's Bai Qu, Hundreds of Melodies. It came out on the 8th of July, developed by Magenta Factory and published by Ratalaika Games. And the publishers were kind enough to give me a code to stream. So that's what we're doing. It's a visual novel, which I'm hopefully going to be able to voice. It says, while visiting his sick father, a college student, Bai Qu, accidentally encountered a girl playing a concertina. Though unlikely at first, Wai becomes a good friend of Li Jian, the musician. Both of them act as an indispensable tune in each other's lives. Until one day, someone unveils Wai the cruel truth hidden under a fairy tale cover. Hi Dan and welcome. So, multiple routes and endings, standard story. What on earth is gummies? The gummies have come to life! Sorry, it was a game that's come out. I'm not going to play that though. So yes, thank you very much to Ratalaika, and I will load it up and then pay attention, and then we will play the game. So there we go. But hello and welcome. I do love their logo. Just the little mousey on top of the doggo is just cute. I am hoping I can put it in English. Good, I can put it in English. Good. Because as much as I love the character set, I can't read it. So, options. Let's just double check what we've got. So, we're not skipping language. We'll keep them. Oh, there's voice! Oh no. This may be voiced. Oh well. Well, it'll be semi-story time then. Let's make the text speed a little bit. Okay. We will do what we can. We'll see how it goes. At the very least, we'll have a story, and I should at least get to be narrator. There may be a Scottish accent in there. I've only got to know about Lee Jae-young's death a week ago. Hi, Leaky. That day, as I remembered, was bland and ordinary as usual. Prelude. Obituary. It may be like some of them where it's voiced not in English and we had to turn it off because... Wow, I got an achievement already! Blimey. So we may... we had one where it was voiced in... I think it was the cat one? Where it was voiced, but it wasn't voiced in English and it was just confusing. So I turned down the voices. So if it's not voiced in English, then we will do all the voices. Otherwise, we're going to do the narrator. I received a delivery package from Zijing Rehabilitation Hospital. The package was sent by someone with the surname of Ouyang. And I apologise in advance for butchering all of the names because I am a ignorant Westerner. I think that's the right phrase. Ignorant white person who has no idea how to properly pronounce Chinese and Japanese and that sort of name. So I'm going to do the best I can, but I apologise in advance. Also, this diary is gorgeous. The person to receive the delivery was Jia Young's father. The delivery man had already come twice. As no one was home, the package was received on behalf of them by me, the neighbour. The package was wrapped in translucent plastic, revealing a delicately patterned notebook. The notebook looked rather new and probably wasn't used for very long. This notebook probably belonged to Jia Young, who could have carelessly left it at the hospital, and it was sent over by a helpful nurse. Since I had already received it on behalf of someone, I would have to return it myself, I thought as I went down the stairs and knocked on the door of Jia Young's house. I don't think I need to voice that, because you can hear the sound effects. Hopefully. Do let me know if you couldn't hear the knocking, and if you can't hear me. If you can't hear me, that's probably a problem, because now you wouldn't be able to hear me asking that. But hopefully you've got the game sound, and it's a good volume. But yes, today we are doing story time, and at the very least I can narrate story time in a calming voice, and hopefully it will help calm me. No response was received by my knocking, so I proceeded to ring the old and dulled doorbell that was there ever since my primary school days. Still, there was only silence. It's the voices in your head, Dan. You should give Milo treats. Milo is a good doggo. I knocked even harder on the door, but was again met with silence from the other side. Looks like there is really no one at home. Now that I think of it, it has been quite a while since I last saw Jia Young as well as Uncle and Aunt Lee. No, we're not playing the game with the bunny. Edna. We're not playing the Edna game. Not playing the Edna game. And I'm not a bunny. Give Milo a treat. He's a good doggo. This was probably due to my staying in school for most of the time and thus didn't come home often. Just as I was about to give it one last shot.
Yo, 小素啊.
Okay, well at least it's going to pronounce the names properly. Chao Zhu. Chao Zhu. Okay. It's Granny Dong. Okay. Do not make fun of the name. I will not make fun of the name. Even if that word is something quite rude or funny rude in my language. It is someone else's name and it is not to be made fun of. Oh, hi, Granny Dong. Oh, apparently the neighbour is called Chao Tzu. The granny who called out to me was my neighbour. Looking at the groceries she was carrying, she had probably just returned from the market.
哎，别敲啦，没人儿。
Okay, so although I really want to hear the names, I don't need it in Chinese. I think it's Chinese. Japanese. God. I don't know either language, so therefore cannot tell. I feel like I should be able to tell from like the is it kanji for all of those? But the sigil things. So I'm going to voice. I think I've turned the voice off. I sort of want it to do the names. Maybe I'll just turn it down a bit. There's no need to knock. The house isn't... Actually, I should do a voice. We need to Jessalyn Rose. Yeah, we do. I feel like it's Chinese. Like, Chaozu sounds Chinese rather than Japanese, I feel, based on previous games we've done. But again, no offense, just ignorance here, so if anyone does know, then please feel free to correct me. Also, I'm hiccuping cheesecake. That's not pleasant. There's no need to knock, dear. The house is empty. Oh, are they out for today? I just picked up a package that is meant for Uncle Lee. I don't know when they will be back, though. Granny Dong looked at me full of surprise, making me a little bewildered as well. After a few moments, she seemed to have understood and shook her head. Now I remember. You live in school and haven't been home for a long time. Now let me tell you, they aren't here anymore. That answer left me a little confused. Aren't here anymore? What do you mean by aren't here anymore? They moved out. It was about 2 months ago. Moved out? Oh, now I see. Weren't they doing just fine? Why did they suddenly move out? I was extremely puzzled. And then I thought, maybe they've got a new house and moved over. Granny, where have they moved to? Granny Dong shook her head as she started to look a little bleak. I don't know their new address. They left in such a hurry that we didn't even have time to say goodbye. I see. Sorry to trouble you. I just received a delivery that is probably meant for Jae-young. The sender may have written the old address by mistake. As soon as I finished my sentence, I heard Granny Dong let out a soft sigh. Soft it might be, but it was worrying to hear. As I raised my head and looked at her, her gaze looked duller than ever before. After a few seconds of internal struggle, she slowly let out the few words. The lass, she left. She died? Closing my door, I slumped heavily onto the chair. Jae-young has passed on. Ah! Q. How on earth did you manage to get Google Translate from my stream? Sorry, I just tried to... I just hydrated. I just tried to inhale and swallow at the same time. And, like, saliva went into my lungs. And that made me cough. But yeah, I had some hydration. You just didn't see it. I could do it again, but... I'm having a liquid in the lungs type situation. Oh, the live text translation. Gotcha. Like for menus and stuff. Oh, dear God. I didn't mean for that to happen. Oh, I'm not trying to die on stream, Jessie. I just, forgot how to breathe and swallow and... I'm all good. How are you doing? How's everyone else doing? Anyway, it's Tuesday. It's the last day of August. What the heck is going on with the year? Why? How is it like September tomorrow? It's like less. It's like 60-something days till Extra Life. It's just not. I can't believe how fast this year has gone. It's nearly a year since I started my new job. Like in 4 weeks, it'll be a year. Heck, in 4 weeks, I'm having a holiday. Oh, I need to book my car. But yes, at the end of September, I'm taking a week and a half off. Um, I will be taking a week and a half off streaming because I'm going to see people's families. I'm going to see family, and I'm not going to be streaming because I'm not setting up my console to stream because I'll not have my overlay stuff. But also I won't have time. So I will just have I will stream on the Sunday before I go, and then a week and a half later on the Thursday. So I will let you know, Jesse, which Thursday will be cancelled for co-streaming. But it will be, I believe, the very last. If Thursday is the last day of September, it'll be that one. Visiting Stockport. You're not family. I was just saying at the end of September, I'm taking a week and a half off to see family. And I won't be streaming. So the Thursday within that, which I think is either the very last day I think it's the very last day of September is the Thursday. We won't be doing a co-stream. So I won't be streaming at all that week. But I'll be back the next Thursday, which is the first Thursday in October. Because I'm fairly certain the 1st is a Friday of October. But yes, so I will let you know though properly. But yeah, no, I'm going to visit my grandpa, and then I'm going to visit my niece. Taking a week and a half off, and I'm going to have a week and a half away from the majority of tech. Though I probably will take my console for cat sitting, which I will do after I've seen my niece. Ooh, 5 achievements to finish Hades. That's pretty good. I've never played that sort of roguelike game. I should, maybe I should have a go. But anyway. I interrupted the story by, dying. Which is ironic because the character has died. Jia Young has passed on. Yes, I know it's in Game Pass. So, I have access to it. It's just whether I will get enough enjoyment out of it to warrant starting it and killing my completion percentage again. Hmm? Oh! Oh, they have helper functions. Oh, that's good. That's good. I like it when games do that. Oh, the game I'm playing, yes. Bai Qu, Bar Q, melody of something or other. Hundreds of melodies. But Bai Qu, hundreds of melodies. I don't even know where you live, Dan. Beyond somewhere up north. And I'm going up north on the right hand side of England. If it makes it slightly less rage inducing, Jesse, then it's a win on my, in my mind. Because, anything that is assistive to help with enjoyment, so you're not frustrated all the time, is good. Though most of my frustration when the first time I played Celeste was with the fact that my controller needed replacing, and then it reset all my progress. that was frustrating because I managed to find like a B-side or something as well, and then instead of hitting save and exit, it did reset. So that was annoying. So I've not gone back to Celeste. Maybe I'll do some Celeste for Extra Life. People like frustration. You can sponsor me through every level I complete legit or something. But anyway, right. Now my now my lungs have lost the liquid. I'm going to carry on with the story a little bit, but I hope everyone is having a good day. Jia Yang has passed on. As much as Granny Dong had tried to phrase it, I immediately understood what she was trying to say. Left? Where else could she have gone? Jia Young, the quiet but adorable girl that I knew, no longer belonged to this world. Jia Young was the sole daughter of Uncle Lee, who lived below us. She was born a few years after me, and was a docile and understanding child. Despite being considerably older than father, Uncle Lee and father had used to study together both locally and abroad. As a result, our families were rather close to each other. The two even went to work together at the Science Institute. I was born earlier than Jia Yang, therefore it can be considered that I had watched her grow up. To me, whom I happened to be the only son, Jia Yang was like a sister to me. Ooh. A little bit too loud, there we go. Ever since her birth, Jia Yang had never been in the best of health. It was a norm for her to be admitted to hospital, take injections as well as medications. Thus, she was always a topic of concern amongst mother and father as well. If we hadn't seen her for a period of time, it could be almost certain that she had been admitted to hospital again. Father said that Uncle Lee was an honest man. Yet in Mother's words, this person was suited for his brains being used, but not on behalf of the nation. Jia Young's mother seemed to have given up on research and took up business instead. Probably as a result of her in a new profession, I did not get to see her as often over the years. Every time I saw her would most likely be due to Jia Yang being admitted to hospital again, or that she had just been discharged from it. In fact, this had almost become a gauge which we used to determine Jia Yang's health. On the other hand, Jia Yang didn't seem to pay too much attention to her health. She had always obediently and cheerfully stayed by the side of her parents. I heard that Uncle and Aunt Lee had tried all sorts of methods to improve Jia Yang's condition. These methods ranged from Western to traditional medicine and even to unorthodox methods when all else failed. Due to the long periods of time spent in the hospital, her body seemed to carry a smell that is found in the hospital. Her hair colour also seemed lighter than normal people. Because of her hair colour, we used to call her a yellow-haired lass as an inside joke. It might also be due to those factors that she always found it hard to blend in and mix with other kids. Now that I think of it, only one older girl who was said to be her cousin was willing to spend time to be with and play with her. She used to have sleepovers at Jia Young's house. Whenever those two were together, Jia Young would always look more energetic than usual. Unfortunately, this didn't happen very often. I recall that Jia Young's appetite was always small when both our families had meals together. She would be quite quiet at her seat, gracefully raising her glass to take a sip of water, and then slowly putting the glass down. That action had left an impression in me. However, what struck me most about her was how quiet she was. She would always sit at the side of the window, quietly watching the adults talk with a faint smile on her face. I stayed at home much less frequently after I enrolled into boarding school. As a result, Jia Young had slowly slipped off my mind. Even though Mum and Dad still frequently talked about her condition, I grew to care less as time passed. How could I have known, just as she slipped off my mind? Jia Young left quietly just like that, quiet, like how she always was. Mum and Dad being out of the house had allowed me to have a rare break. These two had seemed to have dropped a heavy burden off their shoulders after sending me to boarding school, realising that life was made so much more enjoyable from not needing to raise their child. Now it's much more common to see them leave the house to go on holidays. Because of that, I have gained quite a lot of freedom. Fortunately, due to my self-control, I have not gone too wayward. I wasn't in the mood for anything today. As a result, I cancelled all of my plans so that I could spend some time alone at home. I took a pencil and drew 2 sketches for my homework. However, those sketches turned out to be way below standard. I put down the pencil as waves of hunger started attacking me. Just as I was about to head out for the supermarket, it started pouring outside. It was already 9 p.m. when I looked at the time again. Running out of ideas on things to do, I decided to sleep early today. As I was preparing to sleep, I heard a knock on the door outside. There really is someone at my door. The knocking was loud, but not hurried. It doesn't sound like the security nor the maintenance guy. I look through the peephole on my door. It is a man with a bookish look and wearing a pair of spectacles. However, I don't recognise him for anyone that I know of. He's wearing a grey shirt with his pants hidden from the peephole. Well, I should hope so. A slight awkwardness was upon his face, and his hair, which was wet by the rain, made him look a little languish. How honestly, he didn't look like a bad person, more like the downtrodden bookworm that you hear from legends. Maybe he has something urgent, I thought as I opened the door. Man. I mean, that doesn't really look... It looks like a boy. Maybe a young man. Hello, you are? Is this Mr. Zhao's house? Yes, it is. You are? I'm his son. Are you looking for my father? Ah, no, I'm... The man seemed like he wanted something, but had difficulty getting it out. My parents won't be home for these few days. Is there anything urgent? I can help convey a message. Ah, I see. He looked down in disappointment, but raised his head almost instantly and asked rather loudly. May I ask if you've recently received a delivery? I felt a wave of numbness on my back immediately when I heard that. It's either due to my anticipation or the striking memory of that recent package. Hearing the word delivery instantly filled me with excitement. What kind of delivery are you talking about? Ah, it's the delivery that was meant for Mr. Li, who lived downstairs. I asked that only for confirmation, and his reply was as I expected. Yes, I have it with me now. You are? Upon hearing my reply, the man let out a long sigh of relief. His initially tense face started to loosen up. That's wonderful, that's so wonderful! He said the same line over and over again in an agitated tone. He seemed to be trying to calm himself down by doing that. I stood and looked at him, not knowing what to say. What do you want to come in and talk? I let the man into the house. He followed me in without much hesitation. There was ready-made tea in the house. After receiving a cup of tea from me, he thanked me and put the tea aside. The delivery. Can you show it to me? Hold on for a moment. I walked to the television cabinet and retrieved the package. It had not been touched and was still in good condition. Are you a relative of Mr. Li? I probed, as I thought I was too hasty to simply give it to him. I am not. However, I do know Li Jiang. This answer surprised me. I paused for a while and asked, You are Jiang's... How do I put it? We are friends, I guess. This is undoubtedly an unexpected answer. Jiang is younger than me by many years. She shouldn't even be in middle school by now. The man before me is obviously much older than she is. It does not seem appropriate at all for them to be friends. I froze in my spot, holding the package, not knowing what to do. The man seemed to understand my thoughts and my concerns. He himself seemed to feel some awkwardness. I know that this may seem a little weird, but please trust me in speaking the truth. The man's expression and tone have led me to believe him. I walked over and put the package on the table with my hand placed over it. The man did not reach for the package. Instead, he stared at the package with mixed emotions. Looks like he already knew what was inside it. Is this the one? The man nodded his head. That's right. I haven't turned the voice off, it just doesn't seem to have voice on this. That's right, this is Jiyoung's diary. It was given to her recently as a birthday present by a friend. Diary? Everything was too hasty at the time. Everyone wasn't in the right state of mind, and the diary got left at the hospital as a result. I see. Can you let me see it? Hold on, does Uncle Lee know about this? Yes. However, Mr. and Mrs. Lee are too occupied and worn out from settling Jiyoung's matters, so I was... Oh, right. If you're worried, I can leave my identification card with you, but please allow me to have the diary. Oh no, there's no need for that. I just wanted to ask, do you know where they've moved to? I do. I have been helping them run errands for Jiyoung's funeral, so I've been there a few times. It's at Cooling Gate, near Tangshan Mountain. The man answered all my questions without showing any signs of lying or trying to hide something, thus I dismissed my suspicions. How naive is this kid? They've moved such a long way from here. Well, the package? Oh, here you go. I put away my hand and passed the package to the man. He stared at it intently upon receiving it from me and then held it close to him as if it were treasure. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Filled with excitement, he took out his pen and paper and started writing. He then passed it to me. I looked at it. It is written in beautiful font saying, Bai Qu. I'm assuming that's his name. That's probably his name. It's very poetic and suited his appearance. Below the name is a string of numbers. It should be his mobile number. I can't thank you enough for today. This is my content. I shall take my leave. Will there be anyone home tomorrow? There should be. That's great. Mr. Lee has something he wants to pass to your family. I will stop by tomorrow to deliver them. No problem. I will be in tomorrow. As he finished, the man stood up and gave me a nod full of gratitude. He thanked me all the way until he reached the staircase, making me feel a little embarrassed. Such a special person he is. This feels a little awkward, this story. I don't know if anyone else is feeling this. Maybe it's just my mood today. As expected, the man came again the next afternoon. Hey there. Sorry for all the trouble last night. It's nothing. Please come in. He dressed the same as yesterday, but looked more vigorous, and the courteous attitude, as always, made me a little nervous. Mr. Lee tasked me to bring this for your parents. Bai Qu took out a box of tea leaves and a bag of what seemed to be the return gift from attending Jaehyun's funeral. I took them over and carefully kept them. Sorry for troubling you to come all the way here. Your parents? Oh, they will only be back next week. I only confirmed this with them last night. Is there anything you need me to convey to them? There's nothing much. Mr. Lee only asked to send his regards and that they left in a hurry and therefore didn't have time to tell you. After a series of greetings exchanged, we unexpectedly started talking. I think it just sounds a little more stilted than the normal sort of visual novel translations. Usually they sound so eloquent and beautiful, but this one just seems a little more awkward. Maybe it's meant to feel awkward. I don't know. I'm in the 3rd year of college now. I assume I should be a few years older than you. Yeah, stilted. Yeah. Yes, I'm only in my 2nd year of high school. Oh, right. Oh, right. Is it okay if I ask about some things? No worries. Ask away. I'm rather concerned about Jaehyung's incident. I've tried asking my parents, but they were very reluctant to share with me. Bai Qu's expressions start to become complicated upon being asked that. If you don't feel comfortable telling me, then it's fine. I'm just a little curious. It's okay. What's happened is in the past. It is a long story. Actually, Jaehyung has known me since I was young. I've always treated her like a little sister. However, we've not been in contact for the past 2 years, and suddenly... Therefore, I just wanted to know more about her. Bai Qu nodded, his expression growing a little more dignified. Truth be told, I've only known her for about 6 months, but it's just... He seemed to be at a loss of words, describing the matter. He just shook his head continuously. If you aren't in a hurry, can you please tell me about it? He nodded his head. All right, where do I begin? Let's start from when you two first met. Well, let's start from that day then. Bear in mind, the story is going to take quite a while to finish. And that is how I got to know about this story. The story about Jia Young and the people in her life. The story that happened during her final days. Chapter 1. Chance Acquaintance. I think we'll probably just do one stream of this. I can only really paraphrase stilted English for so long. Oh. Minguan Hospital. The weather had warmed down. Warmed down? Okay. Perhaps the weather had cooled down quite a bit these few days. It is still a long way until summer dawns. However, the weather was considered the norm in my city. Minguang Hospital certainly lives up to its status as a private hospital. Both its facilities and service quality are impeccable. The spaciousness is a key feature along with its medical insurance. The only negative aspect of this hospital will be that it is a tad too far away. Exiting the escalator, I followed the signboard towards my destination. B23, 24, 25, here I am. B26 was the one I was looking for. Oh, I'm now low voice. Oh, great. I don't want to do his low voice all the time. Hey, Dad, how are you feeling? You've come. Apparently the adults get voiced. The person lying on the bed is my father. He was lying back feebly against the bed with drips attached to him. Mother was at his side, quietly reading her newspaper. I placed the things I brought onto the chair on the side and then walked towards his bed. You came. How's work recently? Dad sounded rather weak. It seems that his condition had worsened since his admission. I'm more or less done. I'll be free tomorrow after handing in a report. Good, very good. Come visit me more when you have more time on your hands. Ah yes, of course. I will be free soon. It's just not quite as smooth as previous games have been. It's fine. You know, translation is hard. God, you should have seen some of the French I used to translate back in the day. It's terrible. Olkesh would have laughed. You know, I think probably because this is probably a more literal translation, and well, I believe Chinese isn't structured the same as English is, so yeah. That's great. Seeing all of you well puts my heart at ease. Mum, didn't you say that he's fine? Why does he look worse than before? It's nothing. He's already fully recovered. If that's the case, then why does he look so... It's just that the doctor had restricted him from doing as he likes these last few days. He's just restless. I am so bored. That startled me to death. Ever since he was young, my father wasn't someone who simply sit down and do nothing. Calling him hyperactive was no less of an exaggeration. Once he was done with work, he would move on with daily errands. Even after that, he would be satisfied. He dedicated most of his time to finding things to do. As a result, this unfortunate admission to the hospital really made him suffer a great deal. Why didn't you try and comfort him a little? I'm not going to waste my time doing that. Mother, on the other hand, had always been an ice queen. She never showed much emotion. Even as everyone was laughing at Father's jokes, she only sat there and watched quietly. Thank you, Dan. I brought oranges. Can he eat now? Didn't the doctor forbid him from sour food? Your dad's been nagging the doctor for quite a while now. It definitely wasn't easy for him to bear it for so long. The doctor didn't acquiesce to his request. What? Then why did you order me to bring them?
哦，是我要吃。
Oh, I wanted oranges. I love his mum. It's a mystery on how these two can live together peacefully. Well, I can't help it if that's what life has planned for me.
来来来，儿子，
Come, son. Tell me, what kind of fun were you having in school today? I was writing my report. Find time for entertainment.
又写报告。
Writing a report again? Didn't you say that 2 days ago? I won't be able to finish it in such a short time.
切，没
Meh.
劲儿啊。
Boring.
你就是随你妈
You're just a workaholic like your mum, working all day and knowing nothing about entertaining yourself.
不闷
Don't you
吗？
get bored? I would be so happy and grateful if you said that to me during my middle school times.
那不行，中学就是学习的。
Of course not. You're supposed to study in middle school. College, on the other hand, is for you to have fun and engage with society. When I am more free, I guess. It's just been too chaotic lately. Gotta wait till everything's over and you're fully recovered.
哎，这就对了。
That's the way.
读万卷书，行万里路。
Studying
不出去走走，怎么能有收获？是吧，孩子他妈？
Studying should be balanced with going out. Am I right, Mum?
你能老老实实待着呀？
Nothing beats you staying
什么都
still,
强。
Mum said casually while eating her orange and reading her book at the same time.
哎，你看。
See, I am right, aren't I? Did you really hear what Mum just said? The couple gets louder and louder with their conversation. Just before Dad's roaring voice was about to bring the roof down, the nurse came in to complain.
魏老师，能不能
Mr. Wei, can you please settle down? It's still nap time.
对不住。
Oh, I'm so sorry. I will quiet down immediately. Sorry about the noise. He said that in a voice that was louder than ever. The nurse left the room looking defeated, and I smiled sheepishly as I watched her leave. I will probably need to go and apologise to her later, I said to myself. When will he get discharged? I met the doctor a few moments ago. He told me that Dad still seemed a little unstable and would need to stay for a few more days of observation. What did he mean by him being unstable?
医生和我说的意思。
What the doctor meant was that your dad is too much of a troublemaker now. Who knows what he would get himself into if he was released too early? What a kind doctor. Using subtle words to try and preserve his father's image in front of his son.
所以，
As a result, his discharge was postponed for a couple of days. How's father done to end up like this?
反正还在医保里。
Doesn't matter, he's still covered by insurance. That's true. If that wasn't the case, Mother would have probably dragged him out a long time ago.
你们俩就是像
You
两
two
个
are teaming up to make me suffer. I should be blindly follow what the doctor says. Of course we have to follow the doctor. If we allow you to go out and do whatever you want, you will definitely be back here again in a few days. Mother saw the expression on Father's face.
你们娘
You
俩
two are
就连
bullying
起
me.
来欺负我吧
Father pulled off his sorry face as he said that. I started to wonder if he was always like that ever since he was young. Okay, be honest. Troublemaker, indeed. As long as nothing dramatic has happened. Oh right, I've brought things to entertain you.
早说呀！
Oh, you should have said that earlier. I took out a tablet computer and passed it to him. Father had been begging for a computer ever since he was admitted to hospital. He was extremely picky though, the only ones he was ever satisfied with being way too expensive. Okay. 2GB RAM, 128GB storage, high definition screen, as well as a battery lasts for 10 hours. Happy?
电影拷贝了吗？
Have you transferred the movies? Yes, of course, a full collection of old Soviet movies. Those Yugoslavian ones were especially hard to find.
快给我看！
Quick, let me see. I passed over the tablet and taught him the basic controls. Father then instructed me to raise his bed. Once comfortable, he proceeded to watch his movies. A while later, after I settled some miscellaneous matters, Father had already almost finished one movie. Seeing there was nothing left for me to do, Mother waved at me, indicating I could leave. Well, if there's nothing left, I shall take my leave.
再见。
Oh, sure, see you. Father raised his hand and waved at me. His eyes were still glued to the screen.
啊，这些给你带回去
Bring these
吃
back with you. What's that?
苹果，
Apples. I know these are apples. Why so many? And all of them are peeled. Won't they turn brown?
知道你不会削皮。
I know you don't know how to peel apples, so I did them for you. That was when I realised there were a few extra fruit peelers in the ward. I could only shake my head. Dad got them from the internet again, am I right? How much money had already been spent on unnecessary things like that?
是啊，
Yeah, these are really easy to use.
是吧？我说
See,
好用。
I said they were good.
是。
Yes, you are to blame for wasting money too.
哎，对嘛。
That's right. Has this couple ever had a proper conversation?
啊，对了，
Oh right, there is something else too. What's this? Some kind of braised food wrapped as a gift? It's the first time that I've seen such a thing.
飘香兔头，你爸的
It's a
堂哥啊
rabbit
从
head.
成都过来
Your
看
dad's cousin brought it with him all the way from Chengdu.
你爸之前
Your
嚷
dad has
嚷
been
着
craving
想
it for
吃
a
一
while.
次
Why did he think of this? Surely he can't eat spicy food. Also, didn't he mention before that he would never eat anything that's part of a face?
是啊，
Yes, he did. You can't really tell that it's a face,
看不太
can
清
you?
了。
Stop trying to explain for him. Staying with these two would definitely drive me crazy. I took the bag of apples and the braised rabbit head and left the ward. Ew, braised rabbit head. I have to say, Mingguang Hospital is really big. I finally managed to find the nurse's station after walking a huge round in the hospital. When I left the station after having a word with the nurse, I'd totally forgotten the way to the lift. The walls of the hospital are extremely clean, free of both dust and signboards. I only saw my first signboard after walking for about 10 meters. It said, "Climbing the stairs is good for you." Okie dokes. Have fun with the bridge. First thought you meant the game then, then realised you meant the TV series. Thanks for stopping by, Tam. Okay, you are right. Father's ward was on the 6th floor. It's not a very long way to the ground floor. As a result, I decided to take the stairs. Yeah, it's locked. The door to the safety exit. Maybe the fire exit? You don't go through the fire exit. On the ground floor was shut tight. In addition, a padlock. It was padlocked. Blocking off the safety exit of a public building, you would definitely get fined if I decided to sue you. After saying this threat to make me feel better, I could only start to make my way back up. I didn't need to go all the way back up to the 6th floor. I checked the exit door on every story, only to find that they were all locked all the way up to the 5th. I have no choice but to find the lift, I thought as I entered the hospital once again. Different from the 6th floor, this one seemed a little special. It's been long past nap time, however this floor is still rather quiet, as though not many people are staying on the floor. Sorry. I walked a few more steps forward. Suddenly, I heard a tune. The sound was made by an accordion. The melody played seemed to be of a foreign composition. Sounds like a hurdy-gurdy. I searched for its source out of curiosity. Finally, the waiting area located at the other side of the corridor. I saw the person playing the tune. A dainty little girl sitting by the window, playing an accordion that I have not seen before. The afternoon sun shone gently on her, making her skin glow under the light, her light brown hair covering most of her tiny shoulders. Her long eyelashes, coupled with a dazed pair of eyes, added a mysterious effect to her. She sat there quietly like a doll, playing the accordion with her slender arm. A melodious tune drifts out of her instrument. It was as though she breathes and speaks through her music. I gazed at her. Before I knew it, I was already standing in front of her. The girl had already sensed my presence. She opened up her doll-like eyes and looked at me. I, too, continued to look at her, unable to turn my eyes away. Ah, my apologies. Was I bothering you? The girl shook her head. The tune you were playing, it is beautiful. The girl blushed a little.
谢谢。
Thank you. 谢谢. Thank you. Her voice was delicate and light. I will not disturb you. Can I listen to you play for a bit longer? Okay. The girl seemed a little shy, but nodded her head confidently. I was not sure what had attracted me, the music or the girl. I took a chair and placed it a little way away from the girl. I did not look at her directly, but instead turned my head to the side and watched her from the corner of my eye. The girl slowly turned back her head. Soon the music started again. Different from the previous song, this one had a lighter mood to it. The tune was simple and cheerful. I started tapping my foot to the music. My body started to sway to the tune without me realizing it. Ah! The music came to an abrupt stop. I played it wrongly. Such a shame. The girl gave a sheepish smile. I stared at her adorable face without saying a word. The girl just smiled back, not seeming to mind at all. With nothing much to talk about, the two just sat there quietly. The sight was unreal and yet so blissful. It was as though the tiniest bit of noise would have broken through the string. Hey, who are you? Eh? That call behind my back gave me a shock. As I turned around, I saw a curly-haired girl looking fiercely at me. Her slightly sharp eyes added some menace to her appearance. Me? Can I get her to say that again? Because she would have said the name, and I didn't hear it. Shawan? Maybe? Maybe Shawan. I don't know, I'm loving the music. Yes, you! What's your business with Shawan? I'm just a passerby listening to her play the accordion. Listening to her play? You are not a bad guy. I suppose not. Huh. The girl seemed to realise that she had overreacted and started to look a little apologetic. I'm sorry. It's okay. Sister told me to be careful because of the number of bad people lurking around recently, so I was a little overcautious. Sorry. The girl seemed to have believed that I am not a bad person. Is it okay to be so trusting? I thought so as I observed the girl in front of me. She's a good-looking girl, with large curved eyes and with her curly hair tied to one side. Be it the way she speaks or acts, she seemed to be brimming with energy. She wore a dark-coloured dress. At a closer look, it seemed like some sort of uniform. She looks a little older than the girl that was playing the accordion. Maybe this is the cousin. From the way she spoke just now, it appears that those two knew each other. Jiawan. I think it's more like Jiawan, which is kind of like my name. Jiawan. In which case I've been butchering her name the entire thing, but if it doesn't give me a pronunciation guide, then, you know. I'm sorry, Jiawan. I didn't know that both of you knew each other. You don't. The curly-haired girl was taken aback for a while after hearing that. You! What exactly is your business here? No, I've already said I'm just passing by. Alright, I'm starting to not be able to keep up with her. Cheyenne. Ah, Cheyenne, this guy, he's a good person. Gia, come on. Ugh. After some time, I was finally able to convince them that I'm not a bad person. Do you want some, John? No, it's fine. I still can't take spicy food. As to how I was able to convince them, this girl with a ponytail smelled the hair. Smelled the food I was carrying from miles away with that nose of hers. According to her, that was the signature dish of a famous restaurant. I packed it in 3 layers of packaging. How on earth was she able to smell that? I successfully became friends with them after handing over the food. I'm a little worried this girl would be kidnapped really easily. At that moment, she was munching on the rabbit's head with all her might. Probably because of her 2 prominent canine teeth, she looked rather vicious whilst doing that. Wow, you might want to slow down. You are getting it all over your dress. Looking at that face full of bliss, I could only take out some tissues and pass them to her. Thanks. Aren't they spicy? What? Nothing, as long as you like them. Over here, this curly-haired girl... Over here, the curly-haired girl is exerting her dominance on her food. On the other side, the other girl is chuckling at her friend. She seemed really happy. Oh right, may I ask? This is an accordion? Katharina. What? Katharina. Sounds like a person's name. Is this still the time where people give names to things that they like? It's an Irish hexagonal accordion known as a concertina. Nicknamed as Katerina, am I right, Jane? Added the other girl. Yep. She nodded her head in confirmation. Katerina is a nice name. It does sound special. The song you played just now is really good. Upon hearing that, the girl became a little embarrassed. She lowered her head, blushing. Jane's concertina skills are the best. No, it's not. Well, I was definitely moved by it. Being praised by 2 people at the same time, the girl became even more embarrassed and quietly retreated to a corner. Looking at her adorable expression, I felt a sense of joy building up in me. Right. Just as we were talking, the curly-haired girl seemed to suddenly remember something. When I went to the ward just now, Yang Kun asked me to tell you to go back. Why have I started eating? She called me. Well, I think I should go back. Looks like their family member had called for them. 2 girls prepared to leave. Mr. Rabbithead, we should go back already. Rabbithead? Anyway, can you show me where the lift is? The 2 girls looked at each other and smiled. Of course, follow me. Finally found it. Thank you for your help. I didn't expect that after all this effort of searching, the lift was just opposite the waiting room. Gee, oh my god. I can't. Jing. Okay, I'm just gonna butcher it every time. Unfortunately, no big deal. Right, Jing? Yeah. Alright, take the whole box with you. No one will eat them if I brought them back. Really? The ponytail girl looked at me as if I was a hero. Excitement written all over her face. My god, are you Santa? Don't tell me that this was your wish during Christmas. Yeah, I will take it then. Thank you. Such a believing girl. Luckily, I'm not a bad person. Well, then I shall. Mister. Just as I was about to leave, the brown-haired girl called me. My name is Li Xiang. I was not expecting her to say her name. I froze for a moment. Li Xiang is her name, said with slight breathlessness in her. A simple but nice name. I'm Bai Qu. Q. Nice to meet you. I forgot to introduce myself too. The ponytail girl struck a stylish pose and said, I'm Hejia. Nice to meet you. Both are adorable names. Yeah, thank you for the compliment. Jane, it's time to go. Well then, see you. Yep, goodbye. What a fascinating afternoon being able to meet these two girls. As the saying goes, an acquaintance is made is all by chance. However, this one felt like fate had a hand in it. Unexpected encounter. Someone says a stair-climbing boy could have a more charming figure. Bai Qu's home. Side dishes, fermented bean curd, towel, eye patch, and... I confirm my items once again before leaving. Even though there aren't any important matters left, Father still needs a great deal of care. Even though he's due for discharge on the next day, the stubborn old man has been craving for fried chicken nuggets. As a result, Mum can only turn to me for help. It's only a 5-minute cycle from home to reach the nearest fast food chain. What a month it's been. Taking it as fulfilling my duties as a filial son, I made my way to the station, hoping that letting Father eat them will not create any more problems. I assume that's the eldest son, actually. Upon alighting the metro, I headed straight for Mingguang Hospital and to the wards. I arrived a little later than yesterday. I thought he said it's been a month. The corridor was quiet. Nap time probably hadn't passed yet. Oh, you've come. What's this? As I opened the door and entered, Father was sitting on a wheelchair playing with his tablet, while Mother was on the bed reading her magazine. What happened while I was gone? This thing here is really inconvenient. It can even move around. I'm definitely going to get one for me after I leave this place. I can even use it to hold groceries. Don't say such things. You aren't paralysed nor crippled, so you won't need that. Also, what happened to Mum? Well, I paid for this bed. These two will be the death of me. Do you want to eat something? The food's still warm. Oh, you got them? Yes, of course. I'm starving. All these days in the hospital, Father had seldom had any tasty food. After seeing the fried food that I bought, Father shot up from his wheelchair excitedly and came over to me. That wheelchair is really redundant. I set up the table at the side of the bed. Mum hasn't had lunch yet, I assume. Don't worry, I ordered quite a lot. Where are you? As I turned, Mother had already made her way to the toilet and had washed her hands. She was drying them with a towel, ready to eat. When I turned back, Father had already started on a chicken wing. Have you washed your hands? Father ignored me and continued on devouring his food. You slowed down a little. You've not been discharged yet, and besides, no one is here to steal your food. I didn't get to eat the rabbit heads the other day. I was so upset. Those were really famous. Slow down, don't scare me. Father was venting his frustration for not being able to consume the fast food I brought previously. Little did he know that those were probably finished by two adorable little girls. You were well fed since young. You don't know what it feels like to starve. For God's sake, you're leaving in a couple of days' time. Besides, I thought you weren't able to eat anything with a face on it. Well, it's not that clear, is it? These two are such a perfect match for each other. Seeing that Father was okay, I became more relaxed as well. Father finished most of the food I brought. It's good for him to have a good appetite. I just hope that his stomach won't have any issues after this. In the end, all that was left was a box of egg tarts that Father requested. They were good to be enjoyed as bedtime snacks by him. I put them in the fridge. Such a good appetite. I really hope that he will be discharged soon. As I left the ward and walked towards the lift, a thought popped up in the back of my mind. The girl yesterday, I wonder if I'll get to see her again. As I thought of that, I didn't take the lift and decided to take the stairs instead. As I expected, the girl was not there. Maybe it's because she still hasn't come out, or maybe she's just here to visit yesterday. I felt there was no point waiting. Eventually, I gave up. It would have been so good to see her again. Today is the day Father gets discharged. I don't know why. I have a sneaky suspicion that something's going to go wrong. Even if he is discharged today, I would not be surprised if he was back there again on the next day from eating too much. No, I wouldn't be even surprised if he was caught speeding tomorrow. No. he might do things that are even more drastic to let off all the frustration he built up during his days in hospital. Sigh.
哟，儿子，
My son! I don't know why, but I was always disturbed by the extremely informal way Father addresses me. He's already changed and seated, chatting with a few of his friends.
好久不见。
Oh, Will, it's been long since I last saw you. Hello, Uncle.
上高中呢？
In high school now?
什么高中？
What high school? He's already in college. Yep, I'm already a college student.
没有。
Time flies, doesn't it? It still feels like yesterday to see you running around the house in your diapers. Had everything happened in between, so it been so easily forgotten.
就瞎扯。
Ugh, off with your crap talk. Have you gotten yourself a girlfriend? Not yet. Any targets so far? I don't have anyone in mind either. Eh, still none. Did your father not pass it down to you? It's still too early to tell. Back then we were all trying to woo your mum. Only I succeeded. That's right. Why's the best amongst all of us? Just tell me if you will all accept defeat. Of course we do. What's there to argue? You're simply just a playboy. Look at how honest and decent your son is. Quick, teach him some of your ways to help him get a girlfriend. My God, that conversation was making me extremely nervous. I desperately tried to signal Mother for help. No response at all, just calmly packing her things. Using the excuse of helping out, I successfully escaped their conversation. Is there anything I can help to pack? Mother pointed to the side. I followed to look in that direction. All I saw were the 5 huge bags in the corner of the room, with the ziplock open, all filled to the brim. From the shape of the items in the bag, I could even make out a tea table that mysteriously disappeared from home quite a while back. We have to bring all those back? Why not just donate everything to the hospital?
别闹，都带回去。你说
Nonsense! We are bringing everything back. Uncle too drove over to help bring all these back. This means that all of them have to be brought to the car park, am I right?
对，
Yes, I'm counting on you. Spare me, I cried deep down in my heart. The distance from the hospital to the car park was longer than I expected. It took me 4 or 5 trips back and forth to finally bring everything over. In the distance, I could see Father and his buddies walking over while chatting happily. It didn't take long for me to hear them as they walked over, especially Father, whose voice is as loud as a siren. It's impossible to tell from this group that someone is a patient. If the hospital were to make an advertisement out of this scene, that would definitely go viral. Right after everyone started squeezing in the vehicle, only to realise that there weren't enough seats for everyone.
啊，你坐地铁回
You
去
should take the metro back. And that's how I got abandoned at the hospital.
啊，对了，这个给你
Oh right, this is for you. What's that?
蛋挞。
Egg tarts. Weren't those supposed to be eaten as bedtime snacks?
他说冷了，不想
He
吃。
didn't want them anymore because they are cold. Then why give them to me? Isn't it better if you bring them back?
哎呀，你当午饭吃了。
Eat them as lunch. If not, they are going to spoil. Saying that, the Hove just drove off. Looking at the car leave, I was about to let out a sigh.
找个女朋友啊！
Remember to find a girlfriend! The roar from the uncles echoed through the air. Ugh. I should take the train back. It's actually not that inconvenient to do so. It's just that I'm really thirsty from all the work I just did. I remember there was a vending machine in the main hall. I can find a place to sit and finish this box of tarts as well. There's also a coffee shop. You show it every time we're in the lobby. I walked towards the hall thinking of that. See? Just a coffee. Which is basically just Costa coffee, right? I don't know if it's a new hydrate or an old hydrate, but I'm going to hydrate. It doesn't put a timestamp on hydrate. Oh, it does on that screen. In which case, it's an old hydrate. But I'm still hydrating. Yeah, I think I'm going to do 2 hours of this in total, so another 50 odd minutes. Unless the story picks up. It's a little bit... I mean, it's poignant. It's just... I don't know. It's not grabbing me. Not grabbing me. But hey, story time's always good, and it's a game off the backlog. And we'll have some excitement on Thursday with co-stream. Tomorrow we're not going to be on Twitch at all, not watching, not streaming, in support of everyone that's not streaming to try and get Twitch to do something about the whole hate rate situation. Ooh, Oz is on. Nice. Well, if Oz is still on in 50 minutes, I will raid Oz. I haven't raided Oz in a while. None of the characters are Scottish, no. 'Cause we're in China. If we find someone who it makes sense to be Scottish, we'll make him Scottish. I felt a little more relaxed after drinking some fruit juice. Suddenly, I heard a tune in the lobby. What's this tune? It sounds like a nursery rhyme that I used to hear a lot when I was young. I didn't expect to hear it now. Nostalgia filled the hall. The initially busy atmosphere seemed to relax a little due to the music. Everyone slowed their pace, some even sitting down to immerse themselves in this moment of rare serenity. I too stopped in my tracks and listened. I really wish I could just replay that. Because she just said the name. Sure. It just sounded longer than I was expecting, so it didn't. Shit. Alright, okay. Chabu? Huh? Ah! Yes, it's her, the girl that plays the concertina. Recovering from my shock, I saw that she was just beside me, smiling down at me. It's you, Li Chuan. Li Chuan, sorry. Yes, it's me. It looks like you still remember me. The girl seemed a little surprised and blushed a little. Of course I do. I'm really sorry. Can you? You're saying? Actually. Xian raised her hand and pointed to something behind me. I would like to use the vending machine. I'm sorry. It's only then I realised it was completely blocking off the vending machine. The girl nodded her head as she walked to the vending machine. She slots in a 10-yuan note and presses the button. A bottle of coffee dropped out. She slowly picked up the bottle. She held the bottle in one hand and tried to unscrew the cap. However, her efforts didn't pay off after a while. Do you need any help? No, it's fine, just a little more. Come on, give it to me. I took the bottle from her hands, turned the cap, and returned the bottle to her. Thank you. You're welcome. It's just the design of the bottle is really bad. I cracked a joke. Getting it, the girl started laughing. She held the bottle in both hands, took a small sip, and then gulped it down. The action was done with a little difficulty. It was worrying to see. That's when I noticed that this girl seemed to look a little weaker than the last time I saw her. Maybe it's just me thinking too much. The girl gave a weird facial expression, like she just said something bad. She picked up the bottle and looked at the description on it. Could it be that you bought the wrong drink? She shook her head. I heard that coffee is really nice, so I wanted to try it. Don't worry, it's common not to get used to coffee at the start. She's wondering what to do with the bottle of coffee in her hands. She took another sip, but was taken aback by the taste once again. If you don't like it, change it for another one. You can give the bottle of coffee to your parents. The attempt to try coffee ended in failure. She looked at me and nodded sadly. Placing the coffee aside, she took the change from the previous purchase and slotted him into the vending machine. This time she chose to have the milk tea. However, nothing happened. She pressed the button a few more times. No response. Is it because she put in the wrong amount of money? The red light is showing on the vending machine. I looked at the price. As I had expected, the coffee is 6 yuan, where the milk is 5. The girl realised that and stuck her hands in her pockets to look for more change. Unfortunately, nothing else was in her pocket. Jingle. That will do. I took out a 1 yuan coin and slotted the coin inside. That solved the problem. Huh? That's not right. It's fine, it's just 1 yuan. No, I can't. Daddy told me not to borrow money from strangers. At this point, looking at her frowning face, I realised I'd not really thought my actions through properly. It isn't a big issue. I decided to smoke my way through. However, your teacher definitely taught you that when you see someone in trouble, you should help. Try the best of your ability to help the person. Am I right? Ah. I pointed to her and then to myself. Someone who is in trouble, helping to the best of his ability. Isn't that right? But she seems to think that I made some sense, how she's struggling and deciding what to do. Looking at her suffering in her own mental battle, I start having this urge to tease her a little. It's not right, I shouldn't do that. Alright, how about this? You can return the money after a few days, and this way the problem will be solved, won't it? Okay. She forced a smile, reluctantly accepting my proposal. But how am I to find you? Well, how about the next time we bump into each other, you can return me the money then? The girl reluctantly agreed. By saying that, I just wanted to ease her heart and not make her feel too bad. Okay, you must come, okay? If not, I will feel really guilty. I did not expect this girl to be so principled. Now it's me the one feeling bad for trying to trick her. Alright, I will. Well, then 2 days later. Jane! Just as I wanted to set a time with her, a familiar voice called behind me. I turned back to look. It's the curly-haired girl from before. I remembered that she's called... Hey... Gia? Gia? Hey, it's you again! We meet again. Wow, what a coincidence. Ah, don't tell me. Don't make wild guesses, I'm not some kind of bad guy. The girl looked a little shocked, me guessing her thoughts. If that's so, what are you? I waved the bottle I was holding in my hand. We met whilst buying drinks. Hey, Tia, he helped me pay for my drinks and to open them too. Joan showed Hejia the 2 bottles in her hand. What? Joan tried to drink coffee? How is it? What does it taste like? Joan forced a smile. Looks like she was probably the one that tried to convince her to drink coffee in the first place. Ah, it looks like it's still too early for you to drink it. So what are you going to do with the coffee? Do you still want to drink it? Joan shook her head. Ah, how about this? Hejia took out a 5-1 note as well as a 1-1 coin from her pocket. Since I'm rather thirsty as well, I shall have your coffee. But it has been opened. It's not a problem. He shoved the money into Joan's hands and happily took the bottle of coffee. No, that's too much. Feeling that it's not right to accept full price for an open bottle, Joan returned the 1-1 coin to Hejia. Hejia didn't accept it, indicating that it's fine for Joan to keep the money. Joan thought for a while, finally decided to pass the 1-1 coin to me. Alright, I will take that. I accepted the money, feeling a little disappointed. I mean, I lost a reason for us to meet again. Been a little too hooked on coffee lately. Doesn't it taste weird? Yeah, it will start to taste good once you get used to it. Ah yes, it will taste really good when paired with something sweet. You can try it, Joan. Speaking of sweet things, I looked at the box of egg tarts I was carrying and then at Hejia. The lass instantly knew what I was implying. Do you want them? Yes! Wow, such a greedy girl. Ha! I'm just less shy, I think, compared to the first time I met you. Your family must be so worried for you outside. It's okay. I can differentiate between good people, bad people, and food. Food? Then again, how can I afford to miss these egg tarts from Magenta? They've been left overnight, though. They're definitely not as good as the freshly baked ones. Don't worry, I won't mind. Hijia's face was beaming with pleasure. It looked almost like those exaggerated expressions a cartoon character will make while eating something delicious. Ah, it tastes really good after being refrigerated. She took another huge bite as she said that. Oops. It was though I was looking at an animal eating for the very first time. However, it still seemed a little too vicious. She looked like a little savage squirrel. Joanne, do you want one? Yeah, I'll pass. That's what a normal reaction should be, I thought as I looked at Joanne. How about you? Allow me to give up. Why? These are so good. Both of you are too polite. It would be good if you were more polite, I thought as I watched the girl devour all the egg tarts and satisfyingly licking her fingers at the end of it. Here. Joanne took out a pack of tissue and passed it to Hejia. Hajia pulled out a piece and wiped her hands and mouth. Right after, she looked hesitantly at the remaining few tarts in the box. They're all yours if you can finish them.
好人啊！
Such a good person! Although I am, allow me to disagree on your way of judging people.
我家姐姐真是的。我
I just remember that I'm here to take Joanne back to her ward.
我怎
Did
么
I
又
start
做错
eating
东西
again?
了
Ah, such a familiar sight.
佳韵，我们快回去吧。
Joan, let's go back. It's probably time to go back too. As she said that, Hajia ran off and came back with the wheelchair. The wheelchair had been in the middle of the corridor ever since we'd started talking. Now I know that it was Hajia that put it there.
没事，
It's fine, I can walk on my own.
不行不行。
No, you've done enough walking for today.
这会儿刚刚好
You've only
起
just
来
recovered, you
千万
can't
不
let
要
your
担
guard
心
down now.
哦，
Okay. With the drink still in her hand, Joanne slowly turned and prepared to sit down. Just as she was about to do that, the wheelchair started rolling backwards.
等一下，我
Stop
醒
it!
了。
Despite using all her might to stop the wheelchair, it was still a little unstable. Be careful, this is not the right way to use it. I walked briskly over, held onto Joanne, and pressed the handbrakes of the wheelchair. With this, the wheelchair stopped moving back and forth. I then raised the footrests. Oh, that will do. Come on, sit slowly. Ah, thank you.
谢谢。
Shay. Sit tight. Here, raise your feet. As Xuan sat on the chair, I lowered the footrests for her and then released the brakes.
原来是这么用的。
Oh, so this is how you operate the wheelchair? Yes, now you know it too, I hope.
抱在我身上。
You can count on me.
好嘞，我们走。
Okay, here we go. Hajia slowly pushed the wheelchair back. However, before travelling even 5 meters, they started swerving left and right, on course to hit the pillar in the hall. Are you sure you can do it?
比预想的难控
It's harder
制
than
啊。
expected. You must exert an equal force on both sides. Slow down! Hajia pushed the wheelchair in inconsistent motion, unable to find a balance. It was really frightening watching her push it. Careful, watch out for people!
啊，对不起对不起。
Hold on, I think it would be better if I push instead. Sigh. In the end, I took over to help Xuan back to her ward.
怎么会这
Ah, how
样
did it turn out this way? It's not hard to see. One of the wheels is really stiff and therefore makes the wheelchair really easy to go, of course. How on earth did you manage to push this all the way to the hall at the start?
啊，是。
I wonder how. Look, Xuan is so frightened she's not even talking now.
佳韵。
I'm so sorry, Xuan.
没关
Hey, it's
系。
okay.
哎，怎么了？
What's wrong? Why is your face so red? Are you okay?
果然还是不舒
Could
服
it be that
吗
you're still a little sick? Do you want to lie down for a while? Don't
是的
worry, I'm fine.
可是脸好
Your
红
face
啊
is really red.
下午走
I'm
的
probably tired from all
有
the
点累
walking.
了。
Let's get back faster so that Xuan can rest. A little worried, I hastened my pace.
不对不对，走过了。
Ah, no, wrong. You overshot. This way. Sorry.
好了，
Okay, stop. Are we here?
到了。
Yes, all right. Leave the rest to
交给
me.
我吧
Ah, sure. Be careful. Since we've already reached our ward, I should probably leave too. So I'm not a family member.
秋雾哥哥，谢谢你嘞。
Thank you so much. It's all right. Have a good rest. Hijia then pushed Schwab back into the ward. The way she pushed the wheelchair really had me worrying until the last minute. In the end, they finally got back into the ward. I turned around and prepared to leave. Walking back to the lift, something suddenly struck my mind. I looked at the floor directory. Why is it that it's only on this floor the directory doesn't state what type of parents? Parents? It's type of patients the wards on the floor holds. I felt a little uneasy, but decided not to push further. Alas, I never expected it would be so hard to write a report regarding the Book of Changes. Looks like I signed up for the wrong subject. That's what you get for being late. When choosing my subject courses, I did not expect the slots of the popular subjects to be gone in such an instance. By the time I managed to enter the damn website to pick my subject, the Book of Changes was the only subject with slots available. Why am I, someone who is studying law, forced to take a subject as irrelevant as this? This doesn't make any sense. What's worse is that I even have to write reports. Wait. I just remembered the teacher teaching the Book of Changes is the same person as the one teaching Marxist philosophy. This really doesn't make any sense at all. And yet I still have to write a report. The notes that I took in class are a mess and not in any way understandable. Basically, what I need to do now is to search materials that I can actually use. I don't think this is going to be It said there were different endings. We have not yet made one choice. I would like to make at least one choice before the end of this stream. Mom, I'm going to the library. Is there anything else you need me to buy on the way back?
去超市啊？
You are going to the supermarket? Library. Of course, I will probably pass by the supermarket.
那你等下。
Sorry. Hold on. Mom, what I meant was that I probably passed by a provision shop, not a hypermarket. This shopping list has almost 50 items.
有什么就先带点什么。那打信号的是一定
Just
要
bring
的
back whatever you can get. The items with the star beside them are a must. Yet more than half the items on the list have a star behind them. Even though Father has already been discharged, he still needs a great deal of care for the next few days. As a result, Mum has to stay home most of the time. And probably because of that, there is now a shortage of daily essentials. Yeah, good. Nanjing Library. Thus, grocery shopping became the key objective for my trip, whilst doing research became the secondary. The grocery bag is already full. There are still a few items left on the list that haven't been bought. Puffed rice? What time of year does Mum think she's in now? It's already near summer. In the city, traditional food like this can only be found during the New Year period. Ugh, it can't be helped. I took out my phone and called home. Mum,
卖完啦。
finished with shopping? Almost. However, there aren't any puffed rice to be found.
超市没有。
There isn't any in the supermarket. Nope.
那菜场呢？
How about the wet market? I've searched.
学校后门。
The back gate of your school? I just passed by, didn't see any either. The alley behind the police
后
station.
门的巷子去看看呢。
Even if there is, they would have been caught long before I reached. They're all unlicensed traders. Oh, it looks like it really can't be helped. Yes, I should make my way.
那你到下马坊跑。
Go to Jianfang then. What? Grandma's place?
那边啊。
There's a stall there that sells it every day. Wait, Jianfang isn't a half an hour metro ride away. What time is it already?
那怎么办呢？
What other choices do we have?
肉汤泡茶。
Your dad wants to eat puffed rice and pork stew. Dad wants it. Ugh. Alright, I'll go. I let out a huge sigh as I hung up the phone. All I wanted to do was find some study materials. I mean, you shouldn't have asked if she wanted anything. Jianfang. Sorry. 5 minutes to the station and 20 minutes to my destination. The location of Jianfang Metro Station, or Dismount Archway, used to be the entrance to the mausoleum of Ming Dynasty's emperors. Officials at the time were forbidden to travel on horseback and only allowed to walk on foot once they entered this place. Most of the ancient structures and buildings are gone by now. All that's left are the name and stories of this place. I was confused the moment I stepped out of the station. Although this is near where my grandmother lives, I've never really been there before. Even Mum herself can't really tell me where the stall is. She told me to ask around once I'm there. What can I possibly ask on a busy street like this? Don't tell me I need to ask a policeman for help. With no alternative, I decided just to look around myself first. And half an hour later, I am back where I started. This is the same as finding a needle in a haystack. Walking down one whole street, and after asking several passers-by, none of them knew anything about the store. Looks like I'm destined to return empty-handed from this trip. The huge pack of groceries that I'm holding right now makes me dread every next step that I take. Looks like I can only go back. The events fate had in store are unpredictable. Just as I was about to hop on the metro home, a couple walks towards the station from afar holding a huge bag of puffed rice. At the right time too, as I never would have noticed that during normal times. I ran up to them immediately. Hello, sorry to disturb you. Yes? I only realised when I was up close that the person in front of me was really special. She has what looks to be a natural light coloured hair, and her eyes were of the same colour. She was also wearing a pair of spectacles. The all-white dress that she was wearing made her stand out even more. Most importantly, the woman gave up an indescribable aura. She seemed a little sickly, but her eyes were so radiant. Suddenly, I was at a loss for words.
你好，
Hello? I'm sorry. All I wanted to ask you, where did you buy the puffed rice from? Upon hearing that, the couple seemed a little surprised. They looked at each other and started giggling.
还真让那丫头说中了。
The lass had guessed it right. Of course, she is my sister after all. What?
对不起，我们之前和人打了个
Apologies. We had a bet with someone earlier. I didn't expect that.
第二个小巷，
Go straight and turn into the second alley. Continue straight upon turning, and then go left at the first junction,
左边就是
she said whilst trying to illustrate the way to me with her fingers. I tried my best to understand, but ended up getting confused again.
你这么说人家能听？
Sis, how do you expect people to understand with the way you're explaining?
你继续
You will see a market after entering the alley. Go straight. There will be an estate area on the left of the first junction. Enter it, and you will see the store. The man's detailed description gave me a rough idea on how to get there. Ah, I see. Thank you so much. I've searched all around and still couldn't find it. Huh, yes, it's rather hard to find. We just came for this too. If you are intending to buy it then, you must hurry.
是啊，我们刚刚买的时候，
Yes, when we were there just now, the owner of the stall is closing the shop. There aren't many of the puff rice left too. Ah, is that so? I guess we'll have to hurry then. Thank you so much.
没事。
No, I'm sorry, but go. To Jiangying. Following the instructions, I entered the alley and continued my search. As expected, there is a gate to the estate with the name of Jiangying blacksmith camp. Looks like there's some history behind this place. Entering the gate and walking a few meters, I saw the vendor selling the puffed rice. He looked to be of considerable age, but still seemed to be rather lively. Beside him, packs of puffed rice and popcorn are stacked up neatly in paper bags. How much for the puffed rice? 4 yuan per packet. Give me 4 then. I hope there's enough stock.
哟，正好，再
Ah,
多还真没
Yes,
了。
just enough actually. I wouldn't have been able to give you if you asked for more. You're a lucky lad. This is my last year out here opening the store.
出摊了
Oh, I see. This trip of mine isn't wasted then. I came all the way from Zhengjiang Road.
哦，够远。
Wow, that's really far. Here you go.
拿好啊。
What a cheerful and sociable old man. Just as I was about to receive the goods upon paying, a new customer arrived at the shop.
炒米有吗？
Hello, is there any puffed rice left? The customer was a man wearing a light brown jacket and probably in his 40s. He was very neatly dressed, even though he wasn't wearing anything fancy or expensive. To be exact, he looked like a government official from the old movies. He looked rather tired and in a hurry as well.
哟，今天怎么了？平时没人
Oh
要
my, what's up with today? Why has something that no one wants on normal days become so popular today? As he said that, the old man pointed at me.
哎
This lad here has taken the last
都
pack.
包了。
The old man had just finished talking. The customer immediately asked, following, Not even 1 pack left. What is the earliest time that they will be available?
今天
I'm done for the day. Why don't you two split it amongst yourselves? I'm fine with that. How many do you want?
最好2袋
1. Okay. Actually 2. Is it possible? No worries. Pick the ones you want.
我家丫头想吃。
Thank you so much. My daughter is craving them. I've searched everywhere, but I couldn't find them. Same here. I've come a long way for this too. Oh no, I'm so sorry about this. It's okay. I brought extra because they were so hard to come by. I don't need so many of them. The man gave me a nod of gratitude. He took his packs of rice and started leaving after paying. He turned back after walking for a little while and said,
多谢了。
Thanks again, young man. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Excuse me. I got the hiccups today. The man left in a hurry. I looked at the 2 packs of puffed rice I was holding in my hands. Sir, I believe there is still popcorn left. Can I have 2 packs of those too?
Holy.
Sure thing. Upon picking all the goods after paying, I can't help but dread the trip home whilst carrying everything. Forget it. At least it was mission accomplished. Except he didn't get his research. I hate carrying groceries. Oh, popcorn. Damn, I missed those.
炒米呢？
How about the puffed rice? That's 2 packs here. Today's the last day that the store would operate.
算了，
It's good enough.
吃爆米花呀！
Come and have some popcorn.
你不吃，
No, go wash the dishes. Ugh. Ill-treating a patient here.
你倒是像
You
啊。
certainly don't look like a patient. I'll go instead.
哦，好，
Oh, good. Father grabbed me again as I turned around.
米花。
Here, have some popcorn. It's a traditional snack. Oh, wait, I'll take it myself. No, there's no more space left. Before I could even react, my hands were already full with popcorn.
好。
All right, off you go. What am I supposed to do? Chapter 2, Familiar Friends. It was nearing May. The days in Nanjing started to get warmer. Spring weather was exceptionally enjoyable this year. What's this?
你爸的化验单。
Your father's medical report. Go and collect it when you're free. The results from the last checkup.
嗯
Yes. Right, I will go get it now then.
嗯
Hmm? Hmm.
嗯，
Hmm? Hmm? What's the matter?
不对
That's
呀
not like you. Why are you so
怎么那么
enthusiastic
积极
today?
啊你
Was I? Maybe I'm just because I'm free at the moment.
哦，
Ah, is it?
是吗？
It's not because you want to go to the hospital to see if your friend is there? I'm off. Mother knows me too well. I would never take up such a troublesome task without a bit of resistance. And as to why did I accept the task so spontaneously? I had things that I needed to make sure of in the hospital, of course. That said, time to make my way to my destination. Arriving at the hospital, I went to retrieve the report and had a chat with the doctor, mainly to talk about Father's health. The point worth rejoicing was that the doctor thought that Father was no longer in an unstable condition. As I left the doctor's office, I started to ponder about it. I stopped at the side of the hall. As to why I did that, I was probably a little afraid. Should I? Should I visit her? I asked that question over and over in my mind. I soon started walking around the hall in circles as I pondered over the question. After struggling for a good 5 minutes, I decided that being indecisive won't do me any good. As a result, I headed towards the supermarket and the hospital. Can't go there empty-handed. Ah. As soon as I entered, I saw Hijia standing in front of the food counter in deep thought. Could it be that this girl will appear anywhere there is food? What do you want to eat?
不是啊，
No, it's not for
我
me.
在给家人挑礼物。
I'm picking up a gift for Jean. Oh, I see. Looks like Jean is still in the hospital. At this moment, I don't know whether to be glad or worried. Is today a special day?
也不是啊，
Not really. I just feel that it's not very nice to always eat someone else's food.
你笑什么
What？are you laughing at? You came to visit her and ate all the food gifted her at the same time?
怎么可能？
That's not the case. I've only eaten all those that were going to spoil. That's not a small amount, I presume. Hachia thought for a while. You really are funny. With a slip of the tongue, I accidentally said what I was thinking out loud. That is why I'm feeling a little apologetic now, but to be fair, all the food was going to spoil. Other than eating them, what would you have me do? No, don't get me wrong, I don't think there's anything wrong with it, really.
快来帮我看看。
Stop laughing and come help me decide what to get for Chime. Let's see, is there anything that she likes a lot in particular? And is she not allowed to eat anything? I don't think that there is.
没有，
Nothing forbidden, or that she has no preferences in particular.
都没有。
Both? Then we have a problem. Well then, what do you like?
啊，这
Huh?
我有什
What does this have to do with me? It'll probably end up getting eaten by you, so...
我也说什么？
So what? It'll become me picking a gift for myself? Well, how about this? We'll pick something that looks pretty or something that looks fancy.
这样的话，
In that case, the two searched around the shop. Ah, this. Not bad. There was a fruit basket at the fruit section. Inside were 4 big and delicious-looking peaches. The flesh was soft to the touch, showing that they were ripe.
就是你啦。
You'll be the one. Gia picked up the basket with much excitement and examined it. Oh no. What's wrong? Hajia let out a cry of grief as she looked at the price tags. It was 60 yuan. Though the price matched the looks of the peaches, it was indeed a little too expensive. Coffee is 6, so peaches are like 3 times. Very expensive. For me, who does part-time jobs whenever I'm free, and at the same time someone who doesn't really spend a lot of money, the price was acceptable. Hajia, however, was still a student. The price was therefore a little overwhelming.
为什么会这样？
Why do things have to turn out like this? The girl gave a "This world is so unfair" look. She wanted to put the basket back, but at the same time couldn't bear to do so. You've beaten me. I took the basket from my hands and walked towards the cashier. Wait for me! Did not expect you to be, how to put it, so righteous.
什么意思呢？
What did you mean by that? In the end, we split the bill to 30 yuan each. The girl insisted that we would split the bill. Well, then, help me say hello to her later.
哎，
What? You're not coming over? No, I'll pass. She's a girl. It wouldn't be good if I just go into her room like that. But I really wanted to see her. I still thought it wasn't suitable for me to do that. Hajia received the gift basket. She then thought for a while. Suddenly she grabbed my shirt and started pulling me. Whoa, what are you doing? Come with me. I really don't think this is a good idea. No, you paid for half of it, so you at least should come and say hi. What? No, stop. I really shouldn't.
佳韵她
She want to be really happy to see you too, so come. What?
总之
Anyway, there's me around, so there's no need to be afraid. Hey, I did not understand what Hajia just said, still I decided to follow her. Saying hi shouldn't be a big deal. I thought that was game music, but I don't think the game's making any sound. Upstairs is being very noisy. The 5th floor, there is something on this floor that is different compared to the other floors. Hajia walked in front of me, with me following closely. That was when I realised that Hajia, despite being the borderline over energetic girl that she is, walks in a rather elegant manner. As I was thinking about it, a blood-curdling scream came from the other side of the corridor.
咦，
Yep, definitely upstairs, making a noise. Huh? What happened? The end of the corridor was filled with people. It seemed that the whole family was there. Accompanying them were nurses and doctors. What's the matter?
是佳韵病房那边。
It's where Jiang's ward is. Are you sure? My heart started to race. All sorts of scenarios started playing in my head. I told myself not to think too much. Hajia suddenly hastened her pace, wanting to rush forward. I grabbed her hand to stop her.
干嘛？
What are you doing? Wait. I didn't want to be rash. I held Hajia by the wall as we observed the crowd. After a while, they started moving backwards. That was when I slowly made out that the screams were actually cries of grief and despair that echoed all over the corridor. It's not just one person crying, but several of them, stacking up to become a frightening shriek that echoed throughout the corridor. After a while, I heard voices. They seemed to be trying to calm the crowd down there. There wasn't much of an effect. Moments later, the crowd opened up. A few strong men emerged while pushing a hospital bed. That's when I saw it clearly. There was a body bag placed on the bed. Not as large as a normal body bag, though. In fact, it was tiny. It seemed to be made for a child. While the men pushing the bed at the front, the rest of the people slowly helped a woman. Rather than being helped out, it was more accurate to be said that she was carried out instead. Even so, her cries were indescribably scary. Do you know her? Hajia shook her head.
哦，怎么办？
They are coming. What do we do? This way. Looking back, the lift is still at this floor. I dragged Hajia back to the lift and pressed the down button.
谢谢。
Thanks. It's fine.
是
They are
隔壁
from
床
the
的人
room next to us. Those people we just saw. Hajia nodded.
好像是。里面有
I
个
think
人
so.
见
I've
过一
seen one
次
of them before. I finally stopped worrying when I heard that. Jane? What's the matter?
杨青姐今天不是早班，叔叔阿姨也不在，佳韵她这会一个人在病房里。
Young Quinn isn't on morning shift today. Her parents aren't around either. That means right now she's alone in the ward. She was alone in the ward with all that commotion going on?
不知道。
I don't know. Hajia started running. I followed closely behind. We passed the nurse's station and soon on our right was Area B. Room 26 was at the end of the walkway on the left. The door was not locked but half closed. Hajia rushed forward and knocked 3 times, opened the door in a hurry. Hey, slow down! I followed her in and at the same time stopped the door from closing. Jian! There was a slight trembling in her voice and I turned around and that was when I saw it. There she was, sitting on a bed covered by a thin blanket. She looked terrified and pale. Her hair was scattered, the drip needle was still attached into her arm. Jian, you're alright. Jian looked at us for a moment and then started to cry. Please don't cry. Hajia was taken by surprise and started panicking. Hey, Hajia, I called out to her and pointed at Jian. Go get the nurse. Her drip bag is finished. Her blood will start to flow out. I don't think that's what would happen, but sure. I got it. Also, look below. The girl immediately, got my message. She put a thicker blanket on for Jian and went over to the side of the bed and pressed the emergency button. I'll be at the door. Okay. There's still a lot of inconvenient avenues. Though we're still concerned about her, I can't stay inside the ward. Sigh. The chaos outside seemed to have affected her a great deal. Imagine with all the grief and sadness going on outside, yet she had to face all that alone. Maybe she was still deep in her dreams and yet in the next moment experiencing death, where she could not differentiate between that and her dream. It's alright, I'm here. From the ward came Hajia's comforting voice, accompanied by the light sobbing of Jian. Jian's gentle but fragile voice indicated that her heart was crumbling inside. Hajia, on the other hand, was there to pick up the pieces to mend her trauma. It wasn't long before the nurse came out. She seemed a little nervous. She looked at me with a little confusion in her eyes before hurrying into the ward. After a while, Hajia came out as well. How is she? Everything is fine now. The nurse is helping Jian to change her clothes. Oh, I see. What's the matter? Hajia started giggling at me mischievously. Thank you. For what? If it weren't for you, I definitely would have panicked and not known what to do. I didn't help that much, actually. You seem to do pretty well at the end of all this. Oh, right. The nurse asked just now about your relationship with John. Ah, that would be a little hard to explain. You can thank me for that. What did you tell her? I told her that you were my brother. What? Is it okay to say that? Thank my credibility, the nurse did not suspect a thing. I didn't expect you to be so clever. That's right. Despite her odd way of thought, this girl is especially smart. Although I should be thanking you. Being too trusting to strangers will land you in trouble. The girl didn't seem to care too much and just smiled. Hey, Havermore, thank you so much for the resub. That's awesome. Much appreciated. If people aren't following Havor, please check them out over on Twitch. Super Slam Dunk Touchdown. Wow, that's the title and a half. Was it fun? Or is that your next stream? Because I know you sometimes set up your streams like I do in advance. But either way, it was fun. Cool. That is awesome. You were shocked that you enjoyed it. Where was that? Did it seem really gimmicky or? Ah, bonkers. Gotta love a good bonkers game though. Sometimes they're just hilariously fun. I was like, I've got cat lateral damage re-meowsted to stream at some point in the next month. Or in the next couple of weeks maybe. That looks absolutely bonkers as well. But yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. And thanks for the resub. Much appreciated. It can't be helped if I've been eating all your food. Ha, that's true. Also, this is for Jian too. Jian will be really happy to see you. Hearing that made me really happy. At the same time, shy too. I acted normal and shifted the topic of conversation. Can I ask some questions? About Jian? I'm not interrogating you. You can stay silent if you don't feel comfortable answering. Ha! Alright then. Jiang's condition.
啊，一上来就
Wow, hitting the nail on the first question. Sorry, it's okay if you don't want to answer that. Hajia shook her head.
嗯，
Actually, I'm
其
not
实
too
我也
sure
不太清
myself.
楚。
I only
只
know
知
that she'd
道
been
好像
undergoing
之
some
前
sort of
之前接受
treatment
怎么治
and
疗
is currently
没
still
有恢复
recovering. I see. Second question. Where is her family? Isn't she supposed to have someone looking after her?
叔叔阿姨都很忙，
They are really
会偶
busy
尔
with
才下
work.
班。
Normally her
一
father will
般
come.
是叔叔会过
No
来。
caretaker?
嗯，
There is none.
没
At least
有
not that
吧
I've seen.
至少我
Normally
没
there are
看
nurses
到。
around and
平常有
Yang
护士
Krin too, so there
燃
isn't
情姐姐
really
也
a
在
need for one.
所以不需要吧。
I understand. Looks like normally there's someone there to look after her. Today's incident was just a coincidence. On to the last question. It looked like someone just passed away. Did Jiang mention anything about that? Hearing my question, Hajia gave a troubled look.
秋无哥哥真是的，都是
Annoying.
讨厌的
Ask
问题。
hard questions. Ah, sorry, forget about it. Hajia looked at me and then back at the room, making sure that no one heard us. Then she lowered her voice.
家人自己说不清楚。
Jiang couldn't tell me exactly what
刚刚护士
happened.
告诉我一点
The nurse just told me
这
more.
间病房
The girl
住
from
在
another
另一
bed
床
in
的
the
女
ward
孩
had just passed
刚
away.
刚下午突然去世
As
了
I expected.
嗯，
Yeah, it was
就是
sudden.
突
Jiang
然
was still
的。
asleep back then.
家人当时还在
Everything
睡午
happened at the
觉。
same as I've guessed. No wonder that she was in shock.
杨琴姐姐
And out of
因
all
为今天
days,
不
Yang
在
Quinn isn't in today.
说那女孩是
I
前
heard
天
that the
才
girl
转
was
到家人
transferred
病
over
房
only
的。
2 days ago.
昨天两个人还
She
聊
and
天呢，
Jiang were even talking yesterday.
没想到就
Who could have expected her so suddenly? Life is unpredictable, though it surely feels surreal when it happens to someone near you. I guess I should go back.
又走。
You're leaving? Yes, I'm an outsider. It isn't really suitable for me to be here. Please keep her company until her family arrives.
那你还
Or
会
will you
来
come
吗？
back? I will leave that to fate.
啊，这个我先
I'm
走。
good at that. She said that, the door to the ward opened with the nurse coming through. You should go in now. Don't let her be alone.
嗯，
Okay, I will go in there. See you around
来了
soon.
再见。
Oh, right. Thanks for the
哦
peaches.
对了，
Hmm.
桃子，谢谢啦。
Before I could say another word, Hajia had already vanished. What followed was giggling coming from inside the world. That's fast. Hearing their laughter made my heart at ease. I turned around, and just as I was about to leave, I heard a voice from behind.
秋无哥哥，家人说桃子谢谢。
Chuguka? That's how you say that? Unless I'm just misinterpreting parts of sentences. Joanne said thank you for the peaches.
何家姐姐，
Dear. And then came Joanne's cry of panic and shyness.
没事没事。
It's okay. Also, Joanne asked if you will come back to visit. Yes, I will, as long as Joanne doesn't mind. Without waiting for me to finish, the girl turned back and
他说
shouted,
一定来。
He said he will come! I faintly heard Joanne murmuring something. Chia's face was beaming with satisfaction.
那就这么定
So
了。
it's set then.
秋无哥哥，再见。
Yeah, I really don't know how to pronounce his name. So it's set then. See you soon. See you. Watching Chia close the door to the ward, I let out a long sigh of relief. Finally, there was nothing to worry about. I stood at the corridor for a little while more, and finally, with a hint of reluctance, I turned and left.
帮我跑趟腿儿。
Whoa, we got home quick. Go run an errand for me. Collect medicine?
对，
Yes.
跑趟医院。有个
Make
熟
a trip
人
down to the
没
hospital. I know someone there who will give a discount. Hospital? All right. I can't help but let out a hint of
你
excitement.
有病吧？
You're sick? Nothing of that sort.
怎么突然那
Then
么
why
高
are you
兴？
so happy? Was I? I crudely tried to contain myself. This is another chance to be able to see her. If that's all, shall I leave now?
等等。你怎么
Wait,
去
how
啊
are you going to get there? Metro?
给我开车去。
Drive there instead. What for?
都拿到驾
You
照
have gotten
半
your
年
license for
了
half a year now, and you've only driven once. How is this normal? Go get some practice.
给我开车练
I'm
练。
just afraid of getting into accidents.
停在路边儿还会被撞呢。
The car might even get hit from parking by the side of the road.
总之啊，
Anyway, go
我练
practice your
练
driving. It'll
以
be
后站
useful
着
for
说
us in the
上啊
future. Alright, what Mother said made sense. When Father was down with illness, his buddies did the driving, so all was well. Next time, that responsibility might fall on me instead. However, something made me have little love for cars. It's not exactly due to the possibility of getting into an accident. It's something more instinctive, especially in this country where the traffic condition here is horrendous. After I was half forced into getting my license, this is probably my first time driving all by myself. Well, everything has its first time, I guess. My family's car is an automatic SUV. Although it's stated as being an SUV, it's not really any bit sporty. The large amount of room inside the car is its only merit. After igniting the engine, I took out the manual and read it once more. Ugh, there's a microwave in here. The things that Father buys always came with some sort of weird features. This time it was rather normal. Putting the manual down for a while, feeling disappointed, I stepped on the acceleration pedal. Handbrake, the damn handbrake! By the looks of it, the first time on the road, all by myself, will definitely end in tragedy. My first drive ended with me driving for 200 metres without releasing the handbrake, as well as scratching my rear mirror against a bus. Rear mirror? The back of the rear mirror showed minor scratch marks, not too serious. It should look like new after I paste a piece of tape over it. Hope the dad doesn't find out about this. Good thing is that I finally reached my destination. The hospital was the same, and a perfect balance of busyness and serenity. I finished Mother's task as fast as I could. Of course, there were plans for the remaining time. I bought a bouquet of flowers at the flower shop, saying that it was for a patient. The shopkeeper picked a bunch of light pink roses for me. When knowing that these were for a little girl, the shopkeeper generously added 2 bright red ones, saying that children liked striking colours. I was grateful for the shopkeeper's attention to detail. I would be even more grateful if those 2 flowers were free, of course. Holding the flowers, I walked towards Jan's room. I had been invited, however I still felt a little nervous. Though nervous, I really wanted to see her. I arrived at the 5th floor feeling a little worried. I wondered if she was even still in the hospital. I walked towards Jan's ward with a pounding heart. Oh no. When I arrived, I saw that the name on the door had already been changed. Was she discharged? I felt a little lost, not because that I would not be able to see her again, but also because I was not able to keep my promise. No, this was probably just my own feelings. Since she wasn't here anymore, all I could do was leave. From the distance, I seemed to hear a familiar voice. It's her. Chia. The walkway was quiet, making the adorable voice even more audible, almost like something was guiding it into my ear. Where is this voice coming from? And then what happened after that? You're wonderful, I was showering Hajir with praise inside. The voice came from Sector A. Found it. That's right, the voice came from this room. Jan's name was on the door, and I was certain that the voice belonged to Hajir. Even if I'd gotten the wrong person, I would just need to apologise. I decided not to procrastinate any further. Who's there? It's me. Yeah, I don't know how to say the name. It's him! Please come in! Sorry for disturbing. I closed the door as I entered the ward. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you too. Jan's complexion looked a lot better as compared to the 2 weeks before. Oh, I love the outfit. She was dressed neatly sitting on the bed while talking to Hajir. This is for you. Such beautiful flowers. Do you like them? Yes, are they for me? Yep, it's too dull here. Flowers should lighten up the mood. Thank you. Ha! Who would have thought you to be so thoughtful? You can put them in a vase. Is there one over here? I'll do that. You two talk. Yeah, you two. You two can talk. Bloody toucans stuck in my head. Hajir took the flowers and went over to the bathroom. You look pretty energetic today. Thank you. Today is pretty good. Thank you for the other day. The peaches were delicious. Oh, about that. I'm glad you liked them. I was still wondering if everything would be devoured by a friend instead. I pointed in the direction of the bathroom. We ate too. Turning my head, I saw that Hajir was done with the flowers and looking at me with contempt. There were only 4 to begin with. The lass couldn't come up with a rebuttal. She put down the flowers with a long face. You're making me sound like a toady. That's the first time I heard that saying. It's used to describe a legendary animal that is cute and has a huge appetite. Really is, Hajir.
不是我了。
Isn't? Jian seemed really happy. Seeing in this state put me at ease as well. So what were you two talking about now? We were talking about the script that Hajia's writing. Wow, you can write scripts. Not bad, is it? Although it is just my homework from school. I see. The school assignments nowadays seem rather interesting. Did you write all of these?
那当然。
Of course, the grade I get from this will be factored into my final results from my year-end exams.
然后
And then the most interesting script will be picked from school and will be played during the school's cultural week after the exams.
作业是
Do bear in mind that only the most interesting one will be chosen. That's interesting. An assignment of this kind does have the ability to get people motivated to do it.
这可是全校的大活动。
This is a large-scale, school-wide event. How is it? Confident at being able to be chosen? Of course, this is my
我
masterpiece.
的例子。
Not bad. What's the story about? Here. I received the script. Fox, Princess and the Hunter was the title written on the blue cover. Fairy tale? Does seem like the style of a little girl.
嘿，
Joanne and I were just amending the lines.
对了，为了入戏。
Oh right, for the sake of the play I even included this. Hajia jumped to the side and ransacked her bag to look for something. Yes.
嘿嘿，看我借来
Look
的
at the
动物
animal props that I've borrowed. In a blink of an eye, Hajia put on a pair of furry fox's ears and a fox tail. Wow, how thoughtful. How did you manage to put all these in your bag? It's really adorable.
还有。
Oh. Hajia started ransacking her bag once again.
还有这样。
There's so much more. She pulled up a whole bunch of props of different shapes and sizes from a seemingly small bag. This is for a bear cub?
不不不，
No, 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 that's the bear elder. Elder, I see.
还有呢。看这个，
Look at this. Rabbit, I see this looks good too.
是兔子长
It's the
了。
rabbit elder. Another elder.
这个才是
This is the normal rabbit. I don't quite understand.
看，
Look. Hajia stacked the two sets of ears together. The second one was just a fraction smaller than the first.
明白了吧？
Do you understand now? Barely.
家人戴上试试。
John, want to try one?
好啊。
Sure. Aww. Hajia walked over and helped John put on the headbands.
怎么样？
How is it? The girl shook her head and the two rabbit ears followed in motion. She's really cute.
啊，太好了！我都想咬一
Fantastic.
口了。
Makes me want to take a bite of you.
求我哥看呢？
What do you think? Yes, really adorable. Jian seemed a little shy from our praises and lowered her head in an attempt to hide her face. The two rabbit ears again followed suit and sunk with her head. This made her look even more adorable.
家人，摆个兔子的动作，
Like a bunny pose.
这样。
Like this? The bunny has 4 ears now.
哦，
Oh right.
那
Should
没事
we
兔
be a
子
rabbit's cry?
兔子不会叫。
But don't have one. Are you entertaining yourself?
啊，是不
It's
是
a
我？
mistake. Next one, same as me, fox ears.
狐狸耳朵。
It's the same as Hajia's. Yours seem to fit better.
我这个
Mine here is tailored to me, I guess. Not bad. The sister foxes from the fox family.
别像吗？
Do we look like it? Well, there is such a feel to it.
呀，家
Good.
人，做我妹妹吧。
Good, Jane. Won't you be my little sister? Of course.
各家
The
姐
two
姐
girls did have the feeling of two sisters. As the only son, I was a little envious to sights like this.
虽然有些舍不得。
Here, try these
接
next.
下来是这个。
Gia put on a new set of ears for Giant. It was very similar to the bear's ears from just now. The only difference was that one of the ears was black while the other was white. What's this animal?
哎，这个太明显
It's so
了。
obvious. Panda? Black and white? That's weird. I really don't know.
当然是什
It's a
么啊？
panda, of course. Once the answer was revealed, both me and Jiang looked at Hajia with astonished eyes. Why would a panda have inverted colours for its ears too? Both should be black. Jiang nodded in agreement beside
这
me.
么说也对啊。
Makes sense. Then what exactly is
这到底
this
是什
animal?
么动物？
Probably some dangerous mythical creature.
哦，
After trying a few more sets of ears, Hajia's face was full of satisfaction. Are you going to act as the fox prince?
嗯，
Princess?
我
Me?
更想演
No,
动物的
I'm going to be a
侍女
servant. Don't you want to be the main lead?
主角不适合
The
我
lead role
啦
does not suit me. The lead role fox princess must be someone who is brave, kind, gentle, adorable, and at the same time someone who is soft.
到时候
When the
大家
time
都选
comes,
就好
everyone
了
will vote to determine the person acting that role. How democratic. What is the story about?
很平常的童话寓言
It's a
啊
rather generic one, the kind that you will find in common fairy tales. There's a brief introduction to it at the beginning of the script. Let me see. Fox Princess and the Hunter. A long, long time ago, there was a beautiful forest. Inside the forest were many animal kingdoms, along with all sorts of residents residing within. Everyone worked in harmony and led a peaceful and happy life. One day a hunter came to the forest. He was huge and wielded a terrifying weapon. It was said that many animals were either caught or eaten by him. Disaster befell the once peaceful forest. The animals carried out resistances time and time again. However, they were not successful in driving away the hunter. This seems to be a rather grim fairy tale.
只是看起来啊
It's just a start. Read on.
往下看。
The animal kingdoms within the forest fell one by one at the hands of the hunter. The elders of the bear kingdom called upon the other kingdoms of the forest for an emergency meeting to discuss on the matter of confronting the hunter. However, the leaders from the various kingdoms who attended the meeting all had their own private agendas. While it looked like a discussion on the surface, they were all trying to undermine each other in order to gain territories for themselves. The discussion ended up in a stalemate. This story is rather relatable to real life.
正常的故事
It's a
讲
build-up
法
for a realistic story. Realistic, is it? It is, but isn't this a fairy
当然
tale?
童话啦
Of course it is one, just read
当然
on.
对了
Amidst the chaos, the Wolf King and Squirrel King conspired against the Fox Queen. They tried to use the princess of the Fox Kingdom to protect their own benefits. Under their threats and lies, the other kingdoms were forced to agree on giving the Fox Princess to the hunter for self-protection. Oh, itchy eye. What? This content is a little too intense, isn't it?
对
That's right, the Fox Princess is one character filled with tragedy. Read
往
more.
下往下看
The Fox Princess had no choice. The whole Fox Kingdom was devastated. Filled with sadness and anguish, the Fox Princess was sold to the hunter. However, what she did not expect was that upon increased interaction with the hunter was not exactly as scary as what the rumours had portrayed him to be. The Fox Princess especially was treated with the utmost care. That was when she realised that the real enemy wasn't the hunter, but the selfish leaders of the animal kingdoms. As a result, the Fox Princess told the hunter her thoughts. Along with the help of her servant, the Fox Princess started her revenge in hopes of restoring peace to the forest. In the end, the hunter and the Fox Princess lived together happily ever after. Revenge? To get peace? Pah! What kind of story is this? Fairy tale? This is a revolutionary story on cross-species relationship between a human and an animal. It's good, isn't it? I'm in shock. You would consider this as a fairy tale? Of course.
你看
Look, there's a prince, a princess, a knight, a castle, and lastly the prince and the princess got together.
最后王子和公主在一起
Well, if you put it that way,
我能让
I
人
can make them
猜到吗
guess. This girl really makes people speechless at times. However, this role of the princess isn't easy at all. I looked through the script once again and concluded, rather than acting skills, one must fit into the character naturally as well.
是呢其实我也
Yes,
很
I've been
担
worrying
心
about this too. There isn't such a girl in your class?
没有
Did you not consider this when writing your script?
是
Couldn't have thought of everything at that point of time.
其实由于没有
Actually,
模
due to
特
the lack of a perfect model, the later stage of the story had become rather messy.
现在想确认一下
Now I can't even test out the feelings brought about by the lines.
至少有个模
If
特
only we had a suitable model. Well, it's only your first time, so scenarios like this would become common. Besides, this character that you wrote is too difficult to play. There aren't many lines, and the character must at the same time display all the different qualities of bravery, kindness, gentle, cute, and soft too. I suddenly realised it was not impossible to find a suitable actor for Hajia's story. She just hadn't noticed it yet. Isn't the perfect actor right in front of you?
就
You are still viable as a knight. Princess, on the other hand, is not possible. What on earth is going on in your brain? I signalled to her using my eyes for a long time before she finally got it.
什么
What? Jane was quietly listening to us talk all the time. She jumped suddenly while getting called upon.
公主殿下
Your Highness!
怎么了
What's that for?
什么
Jane still had not realised that she'd already been locked down by the girl in front of her.
我怎么就没意识到
Why hadn't I noticed before?
你最适合
Jane is the
这个角色
perfect
啦
candidate for this role.
我不行
I can't do it. There will never be a better candidate, really. Gio seemed a little shy, but Ajia could not stay still anymore. She searched her bag again and took out a different prop this time.
这就是
Look, this is for the Fox Princess! As she said that, she raised a pair of ears. They were green in colour and gave off a blue hue while reflecting light. This one is pretty. This is good stuff. The person lending me the props was really reluctant to give this to me. Come, Jen, try it on. Okay. Jian was a little hesitant. She slowly bent her head, and Hajia put the set of ears on for Jian like a crown at a coronation. Hey, tie up your hair as well, just like those on television. Be more gentle, will you? Sorry, it's done. Sensing that it was done, she raised her head and looked at us with those big eyes of hers. Adorable! Indeed. It would be better with more accessories. I think this alone looks good enough. If only there's a little bit more decoration. Ah, right, how about this? I walked to the vase and picked a red rose amongst the flowers, and then walked over to Jan's side and attached it to the side of her ears. The girl bent her head obediently. Upon setting the flower, I ran my fingers through her soft and silky hair. How's that? Exactly what I was looking for. Hajia's looking nonsense again. I will get the mirror! Within a second, Hajia took out a small mirror from the closet and passed it to Jian. Jian's face blushed after seeing herself in the mirror. Her big eyes curved slightly into a smile. Looks like she likes that look. Hey, come, try reciting some of the lines. Hajia opened up her script and pointed to a line. Jian read it and thought for a little. A few moments later, Jian turned her head towards me and said, Mr. Hunter, from now on I will become your wife. Now I'm the one to blush. Look at how happy you are now. Hey, that's because a huge problem has just been solved. I'd already started wondering what sort of costumes I should use. Wait for your script to get chosen first. That's definitely not a problem. Am I right? Yes. Oh. A12, Li Jiang, has your last bag finished dripping, dear? Just as we were talking, the door to the ward opened. Standing there was a nurse in a blue uniform. There are quite a few visitors today. Sister? Ah, Yang Qin. Entering the room was a young nurse wearing a turquoise uniform. She looked rather capable. In this hospital, new nurses will wear a light pink uniform. Those wearing this colour, on the other hand, are the older nurses with more experience. I'll just get to the end of the section and finish. You're looking good, dear. I heard your laughter all the way from the corridor. What are you playing? We were looking at a story that Hajia wrote. Oh, impressive. Can I see it? Yeah. Wow, a fairy tale. Yes. Let's see, are all the sets of animal hairs here props for the story? Yep, do you want to try acting one of the characters too? Sure, any suitable roles for me? Let me think. I got it, the Lynx Empress! What kind of character is that? She is the Empress of the Lynx Kingdom. She has a split personality. On one side she is madly in love with the Fox Queen. However, due to jealousy, she wants to get rid of the Fox Princess as well. At the end, her moral conscience stops her from doing that. It's becoming less and less of a fairy tale. By the way, that is the story for the spin-off. Spin-off? Split personality, I see. Which one should I try first then? The good or the bad? Oh, and I personally would prefer the bad side. That's great, here! As she said, Hajia took out a set of black feline ears and passed it to the nurse. No matter how I saw it, it wasn't the colour of a lynx. I thought I wouldn't be able to fit in one of those. It turns out just right. This was prepped for my class teacher, therefore it is a little larger than usual. She saved such a role for her teacher. Let me look at the script. Here, this section is not bad. The nurse took over the script briefly, read through it and started. It's all because of her. Because of her existence. I could never go too close. Why am I not the one standing beside her? I am not the one with the spotlight. Am I destined to become stuck in the swamp of darkness while looking up at the light? This is not fair. That thing belongs to me. Wow. Sister is really scary. Huh, this is interesting. Although it was executed brilliantly, I had the feeling this was influenced by Western fairy tales, mixed with the essence of a palace drama from it. Oh, that was amazing. Let's do another one. Try this. This time it was a pair of white cat ears. Again, not the colour of a lynx. I see. I'm good. Let me see. No, I cannot do this. Even though the starlight is dim, the moon no longer rises, and winds of despair howl throughout the forest. The flames of hope should never be extinguished. That is the only ray of light he left behind. How was it? Not bad, right? Yes, it's really good. A flawless performance. So that's how the Lynx Empress plays out. Hey, aren't you the author? Well, I found a deeper meaning to the character. All hail your highness! Come on, playtime's over. Time to change the drip bags. Okay. Nurse Yang skillfully set up the equipment and then cleaned the needle attached onto Jan's arm with iodine. That was when I noticed there was a catheter attached into her arm. She would have to change her drip bags several times a day. This more or less would have done some damage.
好啦，
Don't move, okay? I won't.
疼吗？
Is it painful?
有
A little.
我给你放
I will
慢
slow
些
it down for you a little. Done with adjusting the flow of the liquid, Nurse Yang started packing up and said,
亲爱的，
You are going to be discharged tomorrow. How do you feel?
开心。
Really happy.
这里
Do you
还
still
有
feel
什么
any
不感觉？
discomfort?
好
Not
像
anymore, I guess. Guess? So, do you still feel anything?
应该没有
I
吧
don't think so.
天也暖
The weather is turning warm. While you're out of here, do go outside more often.
很
It's
久
been
没
a while since you last bathed in sunlight, am I right? Yes, I will. I don't need plans with a cheer to go
一起
out.
出去的。
Yeah, together!
是吗？
Is that so? Don't go too far, okay?
交给我就没错了。
Leave it to me. Nurse Yang had already finished packing when she said that.
亲爱的，
Get some sleep, dear. You do look a little tired.
困
Little sleepy now, yes.
那我来帮
Let me massage you a little and then get a good rest.
好好睡
Looks
一
like we
觉。
played a little too much just now. Though enjoyable, it's still not good for someone who's just recovered from an illness. Then I signalled to Ajia. She understood immediately.
差不多
Ah,
我也
I
该
should
回
be
去了
heading back soon. I shall not disturb you further then. Right, brother? This girl had not forgotten my supposed role. Sure. Oh, right. Is it okay for her to be alone without anyone taking care of her?
没事
It's alright.
杨静姐可是会掐着表
Can
算好的。
accurately calculate the time to change drip bags. That's good. We should take our leave then. Okay, Ajia, Kiro,
祝我哥哥
goodbye.
再见。
See you soon. Have a good rest.
再见，楚阳哥哥
Goodbye.
再见
Contact me when you're discharged.
好的。
I will. With Nurse Yang taken care of, I had nothing to worry about. We left the ward after saying our goodbyes. And this Nurse Yang seems like a really good nurse.
看
Are
上
you
杨
into
静
her?
姐啦
That's not what I meant. Looking at her skills, techniques, and attitudes, she seems pretty good.
那是
Of
别看
course.
杨静姐
Although
年
young,
轻
Yang Kun
可
is
是
the
这次
main
都有
nurse
比
in this
出啊
level. Indeed. However, it's dear what she says regularly.
你也注意到了
You notice it too. She only says that, said Joanne. Oh, really? Why is that?
嘿嘿
Should I tell
要
you?
告诉你呢
It's okay then.
哇好
Ah,
扫兴
what a boring person you are.
什么秋哥哥
What? You
开车
drove
来的
here? Rich guy.
好吗
It's my family car. I drove it out for
跑
practice.
车好大
And spacious too. It's the same for all the cars that are shaped like mine.
我就坐
I've
过
only
几
sat in the
次
cars on my
的
sister
车
and uncle.
都是一点
Both are
点
really
大
cramped.
急死
I
了
remember it's called something
好像叫
500? Ah, it's
飞
probably the
什
small
么
cars.
500
Mine is designed to bring the whole family out.
能坐吗
Can I sit? Of course. You are really at ease.
怕什么
Why should I be scared? You're not a bad person.
哦对
Ah, I
了
forgot to
不
ask
知
if
道
it's
是
on the
不
way.
是路
Where do you live?
太平门
Typing gate? That's not a problem then.
太好了
That's great. Hop on. Once in, Hajia fastened her seatbelts and she looked at me with a wide smile. What? I'll tell you first, this car can't fly.
哈哈
It's not about that.
明天
It's
佳韵就要出
Sharon's
院
going to be
了
discharged tomorrow. Yes, that's really gay.
不过
Have you won't be able to see her
见不到
anymore?
佳韵了呢
Yeah. Gia paused and looked at me with those eyes of hers. Sit tight. I'm going to start speeding. It's starting to fly. Purple Mountain. Is this where she lives? Okay, let's get her home. Is it this junction? Yeah, this is the place. You can drop me here. The car was at the entrance of Jijing Hill. The road here is called Dragon Neck Road. Due to the narrow, winding roads, accidents are rather frequent here. New drivers would normally not dare to venture.
求哥哥
Your
教
so-called
教得
speeding
太
is way
强
too
了
safe. I'm new, so I can't try anything daring yet. I'll show you next time. Ha!
我
I'll be
很
waiting
期
for
待
that. Well, where do you actually live?
哦山里
On the hill. What? Hajia jumped out the car, but didn't walk off straight away. Instead, she leaned against the car door.
对了
Oh, right. I made an agreement with Joan that we will visit the library every weekend after she's discharged. If you are interested.
如果有兴趣的话
Library? I go there really often too.
那
Well then, we will see how lucky we are to be able to meet each other then. See you. Hajia then closed the door and ran towards the hill. She disappears in the distance soon after. Library, eh? Looks like it's time to change my study spot. I let out a sigh and started the car. And that's the end of the chapter. Chapter 3. Manor in the Mountain. Oh, save load. No. Let's save. Come on. Save. Right. Okay. We'll end it there. We did the prologue and 2 chapters. If anyone wants to find out the rest of the story, you're going to have to play the game yourself, as I'm not going to be streaming it anymore. I just wanted to give everyone a nice sampling and to do a story time. So, Jessie, Thursday. Definitely doing Thursday. It Takes Two with Jessie on Thursday. I just knocked my amp. Got really excited then. We're going to be playing more It Takes Two. I'm very excited. But until then, no? Don't do this to me, Jessie. Heart can't take it. Well, if we aren't doing it for whatever reason, then I'm sure I could come up with one of the many games from my backlog. Apparently that was sarcasm. I'm going to interpret it as sarcasm and assume that Thursday, co-stream with Jessie. For now, thank you everyone for watching. Thanks to Havor for the resub. I've been Joe, otherwise known as Angel SK. Yeah, I said that the right way around. I had to think about it. This has been Bai Qu, Hundreds of Melodies. And I will catch you all next time. I should probably pick someone to raid. Is Oz still on? Wonder Boy? Says something about being nerdy, so that sounds good. We're going to raid Oz. And I will catch you all next time. Goodbye.